Hi there, Greenfield community. I'm Superintendent Galvan with the Greenfield Union School District, ready to read you another story as we celebrate all of the books that we want to read to you, but especially of cultures and diversity and race. And so today I get to read you one on ballet folklorico. So a ballet from Mexico. And so it's going to be a beautiful tribute to the visual and performing arts. And those of you who love to dance or that love ballet, it is something very beautiful. And we're able to watch dancers in live viewing or when we get to read about them in a book. So thanks for joining me today. Hola comunidad de Greenfield, soy Superintendente Galván del Distrito Escolar de Greenfield, leyendo otra historia con ustedes. Y hoy vamos a celebrar Ballet Folclórico de México y este libro es sobre eso y vamos a leer y aprender de las danzas que ellos tienen en México y lo que es un placer siempre cuando podemos ver unas danzas de aquí en Greenfield o en la comunidad cuando hay personas que saben cómo bailar y es mágico, ¿verdad? De los artes. So, gracias por acompañarnos hoy y vamos a leer y disfrutar juntos. Gracias. So, Danza is the name of the book and it is by Amalia Hernandez and El Ballet Folclórico de México. The other author up here is Duncan Tonatiu. Okay, so here we go. Danza is the name of the book. Amalia Hernandez was born in Mexico City in 1917, and everyone assumed she would grow up to be a school teacher like her mother and her grandmother. Even Amy, as everyone called her, expected that. But one afternoon, while her family was on vacation, Amy saw a pair of dancers in the town square. They stomped and swayed to the live music. The dances that they performed had been danced by people of that area for generations. Amy twirled in the living room and whirled in the kitchen. Amalia, scolded her father, a stern military man, but her mother encouraged Amy's interest in the arts, and one day her father gave in. He had a studio built in their home and hired the best dance teachers he could find. After school, Amy decided to study ballet with Madeleine d'Ambray, who had danced with the Paris Opera, and with Professor Zybin, who had danced with Pavlova's world-renowned Russian ballet. Ooh, she's got the best instructors around. Amy worked on her techniques and made sure she always pointed her feet. She perfected the different structured positions and became an accomplished ballerina. In 1939, two dancers from the United States visited Mexico City, where Amy lived. They performed a new style of dance called modern dance. Amalia was deeply impressed. The movements were expressive, and they could be jarring when compared with delicate moves of ballet. Amy met Waldine, one of the modern dancers, and began to study with her. She also continued practicing her ballet. Amy was very talented and disciplined. In a time, she became a dancer, a dance teacher, and a choreographer herself. A choreographer is a person who creates the dance steps and arranges them together to create a masterpiece. In 1952, after rehearsing for months, Amy and the other dancers gave a performance. They presented many different dances, but the one the audience clapped for the most was called Sones de Michoacán. Amy was the choreographer, and the dance was similar to the regional dances that they had seen in the town square when she was just a little girl. Amy had an idea. She decided that she would create ballets based on folkloric dances from the regions of Mexico. Amy began to travel to villages all around the country to learn as much as she could about the area's traditional dances. She read about the history of each place and talked with the elders. When possible, she even participated in the dances herself. After returning home, Amy could go to her dance studio. The dances and the ballets she saw in the villages were for ceremonial purposes, like celebrating a patron saint or hoping for a good harvest. However, the dance pieces Amy was creating were meant to be performances for audience to watch them in a theater. Amy used her skills as a choreographer and her knowledge of both ballet and modern dance to make sure the pieces were innovative and beautiful. Audience loved the folkloric ballets, and Amalia's dance company quickly became very famous. In 1954, they performed on the function de Gala Televisión show. They danced on the show every week for more than 60 weeks. The company grew to include 20 dancers and then 50 dancers. The company's repertoire, or stock of dancers, included ballets based on mestizo ballets, like the ones from Veracruz. Mestizo is a combination of Amerindian, European, and African traditions. The company's group also included ballets based on indigenous dances like La Danza del Venado from Yaqui in the Sonoran Desert and Los Quetzales from the Nahuas and Tonarco people in the Valley of Mexico. Some of the company's ballets were not based on traditional dances, but they were original pieces inspired by Mexico's pre-Columbian past. She looked at the sculptures and the art that the ancient civilizations like the Aztecs and the Mayans had created. And she conceived dance steps from ballet like La Gran Tenochtitlan based on that art. Some ballets were inspired by more recent history and by music like the polka and the waltz, which were very popular in the 19th century, or by corridos, which were popular with the poor at the beginning of the 20th century. The company became a great success, and not only in Mexico, but everywhere abroad. In 1959, the Mexican government asked if it could represent Mexico in the Pan American Games. These games were similar to the Olympics, but only athletes from the Americas could compete. The company became truly international in 1961 when it won the first prize at the prestigious Festival de Naciones in Paris. Famous ballets and important dance troupes from all over the world would compete at that event. To be touring the world was exciting for Amy, but it was not simple to arrange. The company needed transportation for 50 people, 50 dancers, of course, their musicians, and the sound and the lighting for the technicians, and more than 3 tons of costumes. She was now like a general, much like her military father, supervising all the different people involved in the Ballet Folklorico and making sure the shows came out perfectly. In 1968, Amy opened a dance school. Her brother, who was an architect, designed in the building, which focused on studios and classrooms. At the school, students could learn Ballet Folklorico and dance modern dance. Often the dancers who studied at the school became professionals in Amalia's company. Amalia Hernandez passed away on November 5th of 2000, but her legacy lives on. El Ballet Folklórico de México performs every Wednesday and Saturday on the Palacio de Bellas Artes, the Palace of Fine Arts in Mexico City. They have been doing that interpretation for more than 50 years. The company also continues to tour internationally. Today, there are thousands of Mexican Ballet Folklorico dance groups, both professional and amateur, in Mexico and the United States. Perhaps you've seen one at your school or maybe in your neighborhood for Cinco de Mayo or el 16 de septiembre. Maybe you've even dressed as a charro or danced el jarabe tapatío. I know I have. Amy inspired generations of dancers to perform these danzas. She made the folkloric dances of Mexico famous all around the world, and she encouraged people of Mexico, original people, to feel pride in their roots and in the traditional dances. What a beautiful story, right? I'm sure it's make-believe. I'm sure it's not make-believe when you think about the story of Amalia Hernandez and all the things that she did to make the beautiful Ballet Folklorico famous. So, hope you enjoyed our story today, and I look forward to reading you more stories about culture and races and just the wonderful diversity in our world. So thank you for joining me today. I'm Superintendent Galvan with the Greenfield Union School District, sending a great big bear hug from our family to yours.